refresh your goals. What a great statement. Because you think refresh means to make something better, make it happier. When you think you go into a shower to feel refreshed, you have something nice to eat, you say, I always feel refreshed. So by changing your goals doesn't mean you failed, you've done something wrong. It means you're actually doing something good that you can be happy about.
Yeah, I find goals. I set lofty goals, and then you're sort of chasing these goals. I don't find when I get there, that refreshing feeling of I've achieved the goal. Now what? I think, oh my God, now what? And I think it is that changing your mindset about how you approach goals, as you said. It's it's making them feel like you've achieved something and what's next, and using that. It's the momentum that you get from
Yeah.
the goal, and what it means to keep going.
Yeah. And I think also because every day things change in life. We change. We are different from the world the day before. People find that something's hard because I'm the same person. No, you're not. Because you've got all those learnings from the day before you didn't have. So suddenly you might have things you've celebrated, things that didn't go well. So you're different. So your goals are the same. They're not exactly the same as they were the day before, because if you change, your goal can change. And you're right, it's sometimes the problem for people is they only have one large goal. And I'm not getting anywhere towards it. I'm not getting this. But if you have lots of little goals, little increments, steps that you're trying to get towards that bigger goal, you feel refreshed all the time when you've got a goal for today and then I've got one for tomorrow. And people say to me, but do you do that? I said, every morning I go up and before I start, I give myself a goal for that day. I don't do it the day before because I want to have a clear mind. When I go to bed, I wake up, I've got a clear, fresh head, refresh the goals for today. What is it, right? What's changed? What can I actually achieve? And it doesn't have to be anything great. Sometimes it's a bit of fun. I actually do. People know about things you get like business bingo. We do it from setting up shop. I do that sometimes. I'll give myself maybe a couple of names of songs to see if I can fit them in that day on everything that I'm doing. And it's a simple little goal, but it's amazing when you get it and how good you feel. I've done that. All right, what's next? And you look forward to trying something else because you've just achieved that goal.
Yeah.
That's the bit, you're right, the momentum only works if you're achieving the ones that are there.
Yeah. I think we get stuck in New Year's resolution. I know we're a few months in now, but one of the things I actively wanted to do this year was to document how I felt at the end of every day.
Mm.
Monday to Friday, work time. And I put it into my calendar. So I've got it in my calendar as a day event,
Mm.
essentially. And I'm looking at how was I feeling? I score it out of 10. And then I go, well, am I feeling okay? Good, great. What word do I associate with it? And then is there something specific I can share that sort of gave me that score? And we talk about, gratitude, documenting gratitude, that sort of
Mm.
thing. And I just went, no, too woo-woo for me. What would I be willing to do in order to try something different that gives me, at the end of the day, something that I can understand? And for me, it's data. So I'm looking at
Mm.
at what data can I process from an action that I do every day. And some days I'm like I'm scoring a 2. I'm like, oh, work was shit. I didn't have a good day. I've still met the goal that I set for myself. So in the next morning, I'm like, I still did my job. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's still an action that I want to do. And I've taken this more seriously now. I've been really trying to actively work out when I have great days and when I have low days, and
Mm.
how can I know that a low day is coming and plan for that, because I'm not going to be as effective, but I don't want myself to feel miserable because I've had a bad day without
Mm.
understanding why. And
Yeah.
I think that's where we get caught up in that, well, I've failed this day, I've failed that. And it's not really, but what goal? As you say, set a goal in the morning and see what you can.
Mm.
It doesn't have to be, I've achieved sending 10 emails, I've had 5 phone calls today, because chances are something's going to interrupt that.
Yeah.
But one action that you feel can be achievable in a day,
Mm.
I think that's a great thing to do.
Yeah. And I've said before about smiling. And I do simple things as that is to see how many clients I can really make smile during the session. No matter how they're feeling when they come in, what is it I can bring that to their face and make them feel that smile? Because it releases chemicals inside them. And it goes, and I think that's a lot of look at things and refreshing those things for yourself, is giving yourself something to say, okay, what is it, tangible things that I could achieve? And I think sometimes when we do that, but you're right, we sit at the end of the day and people say, you need to put things you were grateful for, you need to put things you've achieved. But data is whatever information we gather. So I get people to write these things in their journals, whatever they want it to be. They can write anything at all in the journal. It doesn't have to be graduate, it doesn't have to be what they've achieved, just how they feel at the end of the day. Do they feel they've achieved something pretty great? If they feel graduate, whatever it is. And at the end of the year, on Huckmany, or 31st of December to everybody else, I get them then to read back on that year. So basically what they're doing is looking at all that data for the year. And it's amazing when they think, I've not really done much this year, I haven't had a great year, and I don't know how to set the goals for next year. Then they look at all these things that they've written and go, actually, I cannot believe how good a year I've actually had. Because suddenly there's things they forgot about, but they were written down there because they don't read them again. And then at the end of the year, you have this great way of refreshing. So rather than looking at resolutions, which I don't really understand, resolute should be something that you are stuck, you're going to stick to, you agree to do. But most people pick things they know they're going to fail on. I'm going to go to the gym every week. Are you really going to do that? Well, no, but it sounds great. Yeah, I'm going to lose 100 pounds. Are you really going to do that? Well, not really. Why do you set them in as goals and things to go for? Why not just say, okay, I'm going to have a great year. I'm going to have a brilliant year. And at the end of the year, I'm going to look back and see all the things I've achieved.
Yeah.
That's it's a refreshing way to look at resolutions and say, okay, it doesn't have to be stuck. It's that thing I have to stick to this that makes people not want to actually do those goals or not to get them. And when they go to refresh them, they say, well, actually, why am I going to set some of this? Because I've not even met those ones. So you don't bother with it. Whereas if you just say, I'm going to have a brilliant year, we'll see what happens at the end of the year, and then I'll see what I've got to do for next time. And have yourself little things, like fun ones each day, songs I do there, or make someone smile or that. I said, it's just, I can do it. So if I need to do 30 people, make them smile a day, I don't make the 30 clients. I'll just smile at everybody I walk past in the street. I'll go deliberate out and go through a town centre that and smile. Sometimes I get some strange looks for it. If you smile to someone, you get some smart with them. What are you doing?
Chris says to me, stop smiling at people when we walk down the street.
Because you do it, you get some strange looks. You go, what's a society we made that someone smiles at you, you think there's something wrong with them? Yeah, there's something like, well, he's not right in the head.
Yeah.
But other people go back and they start smiling. And it's a great thing. See if you make somebody smile, turn around, look back, and you'll see them looking back at you when you're doing it. And it's a because they're going, I don't know why they smiled at me, but they always look back to see why. So you look back and smile again, and that's their face lit up. And it's great. And it's just refreshing goals is just making yourself feel a bit better about something that you've set yourself to do. So why set yourself things that are so difficult to achieve if you want to make sure that you feel good with it? Yeah, there's things for business side that you want to get to a certain point. But if you didn't get to that point at the end of it, I bet you weren't far away. And that's the thing about setting these goals is making sure they're realistic, yes, that you can get there, but also stretch them. Make them a bit further than what you really got. And that's a refreshing feeling when you go, actually, if I hadn't stretched that, I would have achieved my goal probably halfway through the year. I've sat back the rest of the year. But because I've got that stretch part, I've kept going. And look what I've now achieved compared to what I thought I would do.
I think the other element of this is some people talk about their lofty goals. It's like Mags is a prolific writer, as she's an author, she loves writing. It's not my strength.
Yeah.
And so I'm not going to then suddenly decide that I'm going to write a journal every day of the year in that way. But I thought, well, how do I start documenting my day? So I've done something that I find achievable, but not necessarily that I think I know I'm going to fail at that. So, you know, it's that level of, so maybe next year if I do really well with, and so far I'm on track, you know, what can I do next year to step up that a little bit more?
Yeah.
So it's incremental, I think, and you sort of read these books, the business books, and you know, this is how I strive to do this, and here was my goal, and that is their perspective. It's not yours.
Yeah.
So what do you find? As you say, don't make goals that you know you will fail. But what can you do that puts you a little bit outside your comfort zone, shall we say?
Yeah.
A little bit outside, but not unrealistically outside it.
Yeah. And it's I've had and seen a lot on social media recently about coaches that I know are really good coaches and saying this is not about that mindset crap, this is about business. But tell me anybody who can actually work in business and not have the right mindset. Just anyone. I'd love to know one person that's done it and have the negative mindset or a mindset that I can't achieve this. So mindset has to come into it. And that's what, when you come to your goals, is you have to have the right mindset of why you're trying to achieve them. What is it you want to get out of it? And that's when you don't set yourself up to fail. That's when you have that right mindset. You go, okay, I want to aim there. I'm actually going to aim that bit higher. I know that I could probably do that. And if you do miss it, you've not failed, because I'll bet anything you've actually achieved more than what you would have done if you set the original goal, just by making that stretch thing. So it's make goals, to refresh them, is make them enjoyable. Make them, that you achieve, make them you can celebrate when you've got them on it. But make it in such a way, that it pushes you that little bit more than you think you can do, but in still knowing whatever I end up with, I'm going to be happy with.
And here's our challenge for everyone listening and watching is set a goal that you want to achieve for this year. And at the end of the year, see whether you've achieved it and celebrate it if you've really feel like you've done well with this. And then next year refresh.
Yeah, and it's simple, 3 simple questions. When you get to the end of the year, what did go well done? What didn't go well so you didn't achieve that goal? But then the last question, the most important one, what do I need to do now that's going to make me achieve it next year? And ask yourself that, and then your goals will refresh completely.